The moment his fist clenched around her collar, the entire training yard fell silent. Dust hung in the air, unmoving, as if even the wind refused to interfere. Colonel Riker's knuckles pressed hard against the fabric of her uniform, pulling her close enough to smell the bitterness in his breath. And yet Teva didn't flinch. Not even once. Her eyes stayed steady, almost calm, as though she already knew something he didn't. Something everyone else would soon learn. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're rewatching from. I love knowing who is listening. Riker's voice dropped to a threatening whisper that still carried across the field. You think you can disrespect my command and walk away? His grip tightened. The recruits watched, wide-eyed, muscles stiff, unsure whether to intervene or stay still. Ava's heart hammered, but not from fear, from restraint. She could feel years of discipline pressing down on her shoulders, every lesson she'd learned, every promise she'd made to herself, every moment she had swallowed pain so she wouldn't become what she once feared. But today, something was different. Riker hadn't grabbed a soldier out of anger. He'd grabbed the only woman on base because others had mocked her, and he wanted to teach her her place. The moral line blurred. The right thing felt obvious, yet dangerous. She breathed in slowly. The scent of dust, sweat, metal, even the faint tremor in Riker's hand. Then she spoke softly, but firmly. "Sir, release me." The recruits whispered among themselves. Some amused, some nervous, some ashamed. The air thickened, heavy enough to bend the sunlight, but Riker only smirked. Or what? A micro-cliffhanger. A silence so sharp it cut the air. Ava closed her eyes for just a second. She thought she'd never see him again, the man who taught her restraint. A world-class close-quarters instructor who once told her, "Real strength is knowing when not to break someone." She was wrong. His voice echoed in her mind now. And suddenly, something inside her shifted. Riker jerked her collar again, hard enough to pull her off balance. Gasps rippled through the yard. Then calm, as a winter tide, Ava moved. Not violently, not angrily, but with precision that made even time hesitate. Her arm swept upward, knocking his wrist away. Her foot stepped back, grounding her. Her other hand redirected his momentum so smoothly, it looked like choreography. Riker stumbled, not falling, but shocked, rigid, trying to understand how she broke his grip without breaking him. A low murmur buzzed around them. Where did she learn that? Ava stepped back, still respectful, still composed. "Sir, you're compromising my uniform and my dignity. I won't allow that." Riker's face twisted not with anger anymore, but confusion. And a flicker of fear. Something she'd never seen in him before. Because in that one controlled movement, he recognized the truth. This wasn't basic training talent. This was mastery. "You, who trained you?" he demanded. Ava didn't answer immediately. Her throat tightened. She had never wanted to reveal her past. Not here. Not like this. But the circle of recruits around her grew wider. Eyes waiting, judging, learning. Her voice came quiet. "Special operations. Former unit. I transferred here under direct order." Riker froze. Whispers erupted again, louder this time. A gust of wind swept through the yard, lifting dust like rising smoke. One of the younger recruits stared at her like she was someone pulled from legend. Special ops? She was one of them? Swallowed hard. The confidence in his posture faltered. Suddenly, he was on T, towering over her. He was standing across from someone who could dismantle him in 3 moves, if she wished. He knew it. Everyone knew it. But Ava didn't boast. She simply stood with a quiet strength that made others straighten their backs instinctively. And then came the moral tension, sharp, heavy, undeniable. She could shame him. She could report him. She could escalate, destroy his career in a single signed statement, and for a heartbeat she considered it. But then she remembered the words she'd once lived by: "If you must strike, strike with purpose. If you must forgive, do it with honor." She took a slow step forward until the sunlight touched both their faces evenly. "Sir, I don't want conflict. I want respect, not fear." Riker's chest rose, fell, his jaw clenched, loosened. For the first time since she'd met him, he looked human, stripped of rank, stripped of ego. And in the still silence after her words, something unexpected happened. He nodded. A single, reluctant nod, but heavy with meaning. "I misjudged you," he said quietly. "I crossed a line." The recruits stood straighter. Some nodded. Some exhaled with relief. And then, like a wave moving across the yard, soft applause spread small, hesitant at first, then steady. Not because she overpowered him, but because she didn't have to. Justice arrived not through force, but through grace. Riker extended his hand. "Sergeant Ava." "Welcome to the unit." She hesitated, then took it, not out of obligation, but closure. The sunlight warmed her shoulders. The tension finally eased. And in that moment she realized something profound. She wasn't here to prove she belonged. She was here to show others what quiet strength could look like. Because kindness doesn't vanish. It waits, and it finds its way back. And as she walked away from the circle of recruits, the memory of that collar grab lingered only as a reminder of how far she had come and how deeply courage could reshape a moment. If this story moved you, let me know your thoughts below, and Dan T. Forget to subscribe to Whispered Words for more powerful stories like this one. Your support keeps these moments alive. Tap LIKE if you felt the strength in her silence.